In one of the previous videos, I was talking about things I think you should spend your money on. And at the top of the list was yourself. And I know that seems kind of boring, but it doesn't have to be boring. And today I want to tell you about one thing that I've spent my money on that helps me improve. Not particularly exciting, I know. What it is a pit bike or a mini motocross bike, which in its standard form looks like this, and in its supermoto form looks like this. It has a 150cc engine and 4 gears, and that's pretty much it. The only thing I changed here is added some clip-ons instead of the handlebars to have a more of a sport bike body position. Other than that, it's in stock form. You can also get like a MiniGP by Kayo or Ohvale, but this is the only thing that was available to me, so this one works. Let's take it for a spin. So I want to tell you why I think this is one of the best ways you can train on a motorcycle. I mean, you can buy a brand new pit bike for a cost of a weekend at the track. And then everything that goes with it, like tires, gas, consumables, are really cheap as well. The tires, for example, cost about a third of what you would pay for a set of superbike tires. Nothing really breaks because there isn't anything to break. But if anything does break, it's really cheap to replace or repair. And because it doesn't have that much power, all the consumables like the tires and the gas and like brake pads pretty much last forever. Also, you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on going to the track, which leads me to the next point. You can train anywhere. Well, almost anywhere. The two most popular places to train on a pit bike are an empty parking lot and a go-kart track. So if you have an empty piece of tarmac not far from your home, get a couple of cones, grab your pit bike and go train. I used to have a much bigger car and my pit bike would basically live inside the car all of the time. And so when I felt like it or had some extra time, I would come here and train. So it's very easy to transport it. If you have a go-kart track not far from your home, that's even better. You'll probably have to pay to ride there, but it's still going to be really, really cheap. Plus, it's probably the only way to train during winter if you live in a cold climate, because you can go to an indoor go-kart track and train there. We even have some competitions going on during the winter, so it's a really good way to train. It's safe. Let me try that again. It's much safer than a big bike. Thing is, a pit bike or a MiniGP bike for that matter top out at about 60 miles an hour, and most of the time you are well below that speed anyway. So if you do have a crash, it's a very minor crash at a very low speed. So you'll probably just pick the bike up and continue riding. I'm not saying you cannot get hurt on a pit bike. You can, but that's true for anything really, even a bicycle. So you do need to have all of your protective gear on, but it's still much safer than a big bike. It's not scary. When you're riding a big bike, you have all these thoughts going through your head, like, what if I go down? I don't want to get hurt, I don't want to crash. It's going to be really expensive to repair this bike. And all these thoughts, they block you from going faster. But because the pit bike is cheap, and because you feel so much safer on it, you can get to the limits and test them quicker. You can brake really hard into the corners, you can accelerate hard at high lean angles and just see what the tires do. And that gives you a lot of confidence. And then you can move these feelings to a bigger bike. It's not going to be the same, you'll still need to adapt for the bigger bike, but you improve your skills significantly. And lastly, it's a lot of fun. I mean, because you're not worried about cost and safety, and because you're improving a lot, it's just a lot of fun. I actually take part in some competitions on this pit bike, and to tell you the truth, I sometimes enjoy them much more than competitions on big bikes. So if you want a tip on how to become better and have a lot of fun, get yourself one of these. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I'd really like to hear your thoughts on these pit bikes. Do you have one, or maybe you've ridden one? Let me know in the comments below. Stay safe and keep them rubber side down.